Hello, everyone. Brett, the comic novice here. And over the past 3 years, I have gotten into the comic reading and collecting club, I guess you could say, or a lack of a better word. And though I am very new to it, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed creating this YouTube channel, watching fellow YouTubers, and listening to their various opinions. And again, I have a very novice perspective on this, so I could be right or I could be wrong. And also, you happen to Google one top 10 list on CBR, and for some reason, they decide that that's all you want to look at. So, this article was what was greeted to me or recommended to me just the other day. And I thought about it and I was like, you know what? Let's do this. And I do like to give my thoughts and opinions, and again, especially my novice ones, and I can be wrong, and it's okay to be wrong. Like, subscribe, whatever, comment down below. But this is entitled The 10 Harsh Realities of Buying Modern Comic Books. And I do like that it starts off by saying a lot has changed since the Golden Age. Well, yeah, duh. We're no longer, in World War II times. So, and number 10, the push for digital comics. Now, I actually personally see this as a positive, and things are slowly getting more and more easier for people who are digital comic readers. And they basically focus on the DC Infinite Universe app as well as the Marvel Universe app. And to me, the reason why I find this as a actual positive is, at least for the DC Infinite, if you have the, ultimate level or whatever subscription, which is I think 130 a year. I'm, grandfathered into 99 forever until I cancel. And for me, that is great because not only am I a month behind in what's out, but it gives me the opportunity to, if I nope out of something, I don't have to wait that much longer to, read it digitally. And then maybe I actually have a change of mind. Maybe, my perspective has changed, or maybe the storytelling wasn't what I thought or feared it was going to be. It is actually a lot better. Where Marvel Unlimited gives you you're 3 months behind, but again, you still are really close to the day and date. And with the increasing prices, mind you, of the monthly comics, like, for DC, it's almost like $8.99 a month. Right now, I'm on a trial membership for about $5 a month for Marvel Unlimited. Right now, Marvel's increasing their some of their monthly releases to $4.99. So that's the price of one comic book could give you an entire catalog. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Number 9 is good digital platforms are rare. And I understand where this is coming from. I do have stuff on Comixology, and I have always read Comixology through a tablet. I've never read it on a computer because I just can't get myself to read stuff on a computer. That's just a me thing. But I do understand that the experience has been rather negative since it's been more or less akin to the Kindle app rather than the classic Comixology app. So I do understand that, whatever. I think the interesting thing is, going back to the previous one, I feel as though the best thing that could happen is some of the independent comics companies kind of getting together and creating a independent app subscription. I think that would kind of be something I think it would be very hard to do, but I think that would also get the subscription and also the notoriety, because there's something a little bit lower down on this list that could possibly like help them out or prevent them from struggling. Number 8 is graphic novels are slow to release. And yes, I do believe, and I think DC is more guilty of this than Marvel. I think by the time one arc or one trade that, they're writing for the trade has occurred, I feel as though both DC, Marvel, and Image should have that out ready to go before the drop of the next issue for the secondary arc or the secondary trade or whatnot. So if people are, trade waiting, and then the storyline is just so good that you can't wait anymore, I think that would be a really good marketing scheme to do in order to get more readers. I don't know. That's just me. But yeah, also, I don't like that DC does the hardcover first and the trade paperback a year later. I think I wish it was inverse, but again, that's just my perspective about the whole thing. Number 7, Marvel and DC dominate the industry. Again, this goes back to what I mentioned previously. Yeah, and you know, the hard part about it is it's the comic books are generally a superhero genre. And I think that's what hurts a lot of the other, smaller titles or smaller publishers is, yeah, they do some, superhero stuff, but there's more independent and more, horror comics. There's sci-fi comics. There's a whole bunch of genres within the indie market. And so I think that's where things get struggle a little bit. So again, if you could possibly come up with some sort of app that has dark horse image boom and whatnot to have like a independent or small publishers digital subscription, I think that would be something that could possibly help the marketing thing. Again, it's just me. Number 6, the screen has a massive impact. Now, I I do see this, and I will tell you, it not a perfect movie. I did like in Black Adam that the main kid was actually, reading comics. He dropped a couple of Wonder Woman comics. I think that is great. I think that, seeing because, for some reason, the ideas that are born from within the pages of comic books don't necessarily get marketed by the people, the corporations or whatever that have essentially poached the ideas for some of their stories. So I do see that, but I think that's a struggle. Maybe there's something else that I'm missing there, but whatever. Number 5, the comic heyday is over. And you can say yes and you can say no, but here's what I will say as somebody who is a teacher of young children, I, technology has taken root and has altered the heyday of lots of things. They've taken and altered the heyday of the conversation at the dinner table. If you go to a grocery store, I've watched a couple kids almost walk into oncoming traffic in the parking lot because they are so interested in what is going on their phone. They're not paying attention that there's actually cars driving around in the parking lot. So the comic heyday is over is yes, but I think that is how society has kind of changed over the past 50, 70 years or so. We have easily, there is YouTube where people are able to stream and upload videos with their own original ideas or commentary. There is, like it or not, there's reality shows, and I don't like them. There are hundreds of cable channels. There's so much to be entertained. There's so many different ways to find entertainment, and yeah, and comic books are kind of down the line of those, and you could say manga has taken over, but which some of my students are pro that, and I think that, but there needs to be adaptation. So yeah, comic heyday is over. I think a lot of heydays are over. Number 4, certain titles overload the comic market. So I understand, I like that they have the picture of Batman on here because again, there's like 17 new Batman comics each month. And there's a whole bunch of X-Men and there's a whole bunch of Spider-Man. So again, I can definitely see the oversaturation. But again, give them what they want. If they're selling and the comic publisher is into money, then I think if they're allergic to money, give them stuff that they don't want and it'll be fine because then they will go out of business because people won't buy what they don't like. However, if there are good compelling creators, or good compelling artists with great original ideas or spins or takes on some of these characters and they sell well and for some reason a Spider-Man comic sells a lot better than, I can't even think of something that wouldn't sell well currently right now. Anyway, uh, but yeah, it's going to happen. Number 3, no room for risks. So here's the interesting thing about that is I think that there is some legitimacy to the no room for risks because I think there's some comic book creators who don't want to work for Marvel, don't want to work for DC, but their idea is too risky and it might be a niche market. And I think actually some of the kind of poor quality storytelling that is occurring, and changing and altering of creators, or sorry, characters that have been established for years and years, are because of the no room for risks. They can't create a new character because, well, nobody would be interested in that character and it'd just be a waste of time. So let's hijack some, existing IP, change, alter that character's identity to what was, set in stone for 70, 30 years or so. And and if you don't like it, well, then they'll just kind of like, drift off to the sunset and maybe make a reappearance a couple of years later. Who knows? But I do think that there is, you know, that interesting subject of no room for risks. And what I'll say in conjunction with that is number two is not enough diversity. Now, I would like to say diversity of thought, because I feel as though, you have the I Am Batman with the other son of Lucius Fox. You have Miles Morales. You have, again, what I've said with John Kent and also Tim Drake Robin. Like, you have lots of diversity, but again, is the storytelling good? I've been told in some of the comments that, no, the Tim Drake Robin story is good. The art just sucks. I've heard, like, from lots of people that the Tim Drake Robin story looks awful and also sucks too. Not enough diversity. Here's the thing: not enough good quality writing. That's what they should say. They should say not a good enough quality of writing. I think writing will, like, be the, will even things out at the very end. If you have a good character, doesn't matter what color, race, nationality, religion, whatnot. But if the story is bad, like, if all the Batman stories started sucking or whatever, DC's not gonna have 17 different books. Doesn't matter what color Batman is. I think, that diversity, it is a good thing, but recently it's just been, I think, overused. And number one is there are fewer comic book stores. Blah. And I will agree to that, and which is a sad thing. But again, it all goes down to exposure and the hobby, which is comic books. So I do have also a couple different things that I wish they should have included in this list. And one of them is increasing prices. So yes, I started collecting where it was $3.99 a month, even with some of the initially in 2019, they would have some variant covers which had no different paper for, I'm talking DC, had no different paper, just a different variant cover, and it was still the same price. Then they started doing the cardstock, which obviously a little bit pricier to probably, print on a different type of paper, buy the different type of paper, get the uh, I'm giving them way too more credit than they probably deserve, but yeah, having the stapler staple through harder, thicker paper, and yeah, so whatever. And then for me personally, it is that not only is it an increase of price, but now they started adding a 8-page backup and saying, oh well, now you're getting a backup story for $8. Now think about this: with some of the recent prices increases, especially for Marvel, they're still giving you the same 32 pages, but it's $1 more. So now the complaints that I originally had about Batman, Wonder Woman, Action Comics with the backup, well, now it's now null and void, because now that's actually a good deal. It's the same price of what Captain America is going to be, and a couple of these other, I think, is it the Avengers and stuff like that, going on. That it's going to be $4.99, but it's still going to be the same 32 pages. So now these story with the backup currently is a good deal, because now it's almost free compared to what your some of these other books are being, whatever. Also, I would say long drawn out stories. I feel as though, again, writing for the trade, writing for a graphic novel or whatever, some of these stories that could be simply wrapped up in 3 issues. I've been reading some of the late 80s Batman and Superman, and I feel as though it's such a breath of fresh air to know that in, oh, three comics or whatever, I'm done and we're getting ready to the next arc. I don't have to have this get drawn out for 6, 7 issues or whatnot. And then, of course, there is the stupid alpha and omega issues that we're being subjugated to regarding, and I've almost sworn off buying any alpha and omega issue. I'm so tired. I'm completely out on this Gotham War thing. I wanted to pick up some of the I was hoping to read the Carnage Reign series, but there's an Alpha and Omega issue, and I was just like, nope, not gonna do that. And so you have those. You have the constant reboots of comic books. You know, when got into comics in 2019, we were in the kind of post rebirth age for DC Comics. And then we eventually got what was it? The future state or 5G that took over for about 2 months. And then we got the Infinite Frontier, which lasted about maybe 18 months. And now we are on Dawn of DC. It's constantly being rebooted and altered slightly differently or maintaining the same course. And then, at least for me personally, the another harsh reality is the constant first appearances. I feel as though they're throwing way too many brand new characters in hopes of getting, speculators to buy up all the books and then hold those books hostage for 20, 30, $50 online. And yeah, again, way too many first appearances. I think those are the harsh realities. I think some of these are meaningless, superfluous, and actually could be a good thing depending on your, belief, train of thought, or whatever. So again, that is my thoughts about the 10 harsh realities of comic books in the modern era and some of the things that I would add to those. Am I right? Am I wrong? Comment, like, subscribe down below. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, I will see you at the dollar section where I'll find some harsh realities there for $1. Thanks for watching. Bye.